Round 2.
Oh my god. Oh, what did we just learn? Don't be a rookie and check your settings. It's gonna be like Zombieland, where it's like rule number 365. Check your settings.
Would you like to tell the people what you did?
I didn't do anything.
What you forgot to do?
No, you didn't check the settings.
What?
You're on camera, dude. You didn't check the settings. You didn't see.
How was I supposed to know that was even a thing?
Oh, slow motion?
I didn't know you had a slow motion feature on this.
Oh man.
All I do is press the red button, and that's my job.
Yeah, check your settings. You didn't see anything special next to that red dot?
No.
Well, it's not gonna say anything now because it's back on normal. Oh man. So I was doing a little B-roll in the chair. Okay, so first of all, there's a little. They need a little bit more context behind this. So we just finished shooting the baptism for a friend of mine in the East Bay. So we're actually on the Bay Bridge right now, going back to San Francisco, so we can actually celebrate Easter because #He has risen. We have to like go over all this again. So basically, we were talking to a camera that was doing slow motion and not recording any of the audio. So we were literally just talking to a camera straight up, and it just took a bunch of footage of us in slow motion.
Basically.
So that's gonna be kind of funny / interesting. But anyways, yeah. Again, don't be a rookie. So that's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was in the church just trying to get like some B-roll, just in slow motion, just at different things. And then when it came time to actually coming in here and doing the little car chronicle vlog, then forgot to switch it back. So there's that. Cool story, huh? You're supposed to go cool story, bro. Psych.
I'm hungry.
Me too.
I'm starving. We haven't eaten anything, and it's 12:30 currently.
Yeah, well, we left at, so the mass was at like 10.
We left around 9.
9 to get over here. There was no traffic, so it was. I wanted to leave earlier, but it was whatever.
Did we possibly have time to eat before?
No.
Yes. Did we get up to actually eat? No.
Well, we stayed up late.
True.
Well, your reason was better than mine.
But usually my reason is yours.
Yeah.
Even though I don't stay up that late even when I do play video games.
I haven't played in such a long time. Finishing up God of War.
Yeah, so we probably fell asleep like around the same time-ish,
so
roughly.
Like 1 and 1:30.
But see, we kind of, I guess, like switched roles last night, because usually he's the productive one and I'm the one playing video games. But last night, I was the productive one and he was the one playing video games.
Yeah, I just needed some time just to, like, clear my mind. Just been working on a lot of different things. Projects, work. It's kind of tough having a full-time job on top of still running your business on the side, which you're trying to do all these little things for in terms of creating products for on the shop, and then editing videos and trying to figure out what the next project's going to be, and editing those previous projects and planning, the next trips and figuring out what you're going to do. So my problem is I need to stay away from online window shopping.
Yeah, I saw your tweet and I just cleared the notification.
I want to buy everything. That's the problem. I'm just like,
I literally rolled my eyes and just cleared the notification.
Because if you looked at my shopping cart for B&H, it's ridiculous. I'm just like, I'll like add things to it and I'm just kind of like, oh, save for later. Like, no, I gotta stop buying stuff. But
yeah, you do.
The one thing that I'm pretty sure though that I'm gonna buy without waiting, because I don't know, because the thing is, basically what I'm trying to do at this point is just save money up until like Black Friday, when obviously all the sales and stuff and everything's gonna go down, and then just gonna go broke again. That's what's gonna happen.
I mean, it's almost here.
We're in April.
Towards the end of April.
Okay, so May's here. So
basically.
May, June, July, August, September, October. That's 6 months away. That's half a year still.
Okay. You see how fast 4 months has already gone by?
No. Actually, January took forever.
Not for me.
It's just hard to believe it's already kind of like May, but...
I was going into my last semester and I was like, stop.
Remember the first time that I asked you? I was like, hey, so this is your last semester, huh? And you're like, yep. Got like You said you were even counting the weeks. Like, it was like, you're like, yeah, it's like, you said you had like 12 weeks or something like that, like almost 16. When I first asked you, like when your semester first started.
How long my semester lasts?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 16 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's why I was like, how many? Well, I was asking, like, this is your semester. You're like, so when's graduation? You're like, it's like 16 weeks.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, this could be cool. Nice little shot right here. See, just going into the. Look at that. Look at that. You see what I'm saying right here? Well, they're not seeing what I'm saying, but little opportunities. But whatever.
I'm just here.
That'd be a pretty dope drone shot, though. If actually, you were able to have a drone go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
But guarantee that drone's gonna like disconnect because of the tunnel, the signal, and then just flop and get ran over by a car.
I mean, it's not that big of a tunnel.
No, I know, but it doesn't matter because like if it doesn't, the reason why a lot of the times drones like go haywire is because they lose connection.
I mean, you could try to fly it through fast and always slow the footage down.
No, but then all of a sudden you're just gonna see, and then into the ground.
That's if it disconnects.
That's what I'm saying.
If.
It's like, I would hope it wouldn't, but that'd be pretty dope. I mean, I think it would actually probably be a bit more impactful at night, but I don't know how good the low light quality would be like on a drone for something like that. But that's just me. Otherwise, you can probably just rig something on top of the car and then kind of make it look almost like a drone, anyways.
Yeah.
But those are all just different ideas.
I can't wait for the food.
Yeah, so you like the sermon, the second one, like who did the second sermon?
Yeah. Yeah. She was talking about her mama. Wait, was it her mom or her grandmother who was a slave? She said something about an indentured slave.
I think it was her. It had to have been her grandma. Her mom would have been too soon.
Yeah, well, she was talking about her history, and pretty sure it was her grandma. How she was an indentured slave and she couldn't go back to her family and all this and all that. And then it got into her mom, and she said that her dad was an alcoholic and abusive, but her mom never said
she never held it against him.
Yeah, she never said anything. She never complained about it, but she would sing. I'm like, wow, the power of music.
The other thing too, though, I mean, I was like, I caught bits and pieces of each sermon, but because I was moving around and taking photos, it was kind of hard for me to like concentrate on what they were saying while doing what I was doing. But one of the things that I said in the slow motion video that didn't record any audio was that just a little tidbit just to kind of help out anybody who's first starting out, because you never really know, because there's a lot of people who've been in the game for a while, and you know they throw this tip out there a lot too, is that when you're going to something like a baptism or a quince or you know a wedding, it's definitely better to take more photos or even video than you think is really necessary. You can never overshoot or over record, just because, especially like if you want to make like little promo videos, or you know, like you want to be able to stitch as many things as possible, because the last thing you want is to not have enough. And I've actually been in some of those situations too, not in terms of like paid you know, like paid projects, but you know, just on my own, kind of being out, just doing my own thing. You know, sometimes I've gone back to like editing and been like, man, I wish I would have actually like recorded more, or if I wish I would have recorded this a little bit longer, just so that way it kind of gives you more flexibility. It's the same with you know, when you're doing the photographing part, is that you want to photograph as much as possible and then connect those photos with you know, with whoever it would relate to. So there was a lot of photos I actually kind of took, you know, just of the pastures. You know, I took a lot of like wide angles, like from up top, because there was actually a part where the stairs you can walk up and shoot down, so that way you can see everybody who was sitting as well as the pastors. So you know, I just asked, you know, one of them, I was like, hey, I was like, do you have an email just so that way we can forward some of these photos to you? And they said, yeah. You know, whether they're going to give you credit on their website or their bulletin board for the photos, you know, that's, you know, it's kind of whatever. Just because, you know, sometimes you never know. Because when you go to a wedding, and if you're taking photos of the cake, or if you're taking photos for, you know, of the DJ, if there is one, you know, when they go to like their next event, or if somebody, you know, might ask them, hey, do you know anybody who takes photo or does, you know, video? You know, you're probably most likely going to come to mind because they're like, oh, well, this guy, you know, took some dope photos of me, or, you know, he made this like really cool, like little, you know, like promo, you know, like 1 minute, you know, promo video of me that he kind of shot over to me. And that's the reason why exchanging information is really important too, because last thing you want is, you know, you kind of get them, you take all these photos and then it's like they don't have a way to get in contact with you, or, you know, you have no way to get those things over to them. So it's kind of real important just to, you know, figure out who's also being paid to contribute to the event for, you know, the bride or the groom, or the quinceañera is actually the name of the, what's the name of the girl? It is the quinceañera, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, just, well, call it a quinceañera, but, or, you know, the parents for a particular baptism. I mean, you can even if an event's catered, you know, just being like, hey, could I like get a plate from you guys real fast? You know, going to go off like at a table that's far away, you know, just light it decently and, you know, just take some nice little macro shots, and, you know, just even getting that back to, you know, whoever owns the catering company or business, you know, getting them those photos. Like, you just never know. You know, it's just a good way to, again, just kind of get your name out there, and also helps you build your own portfolio online as well. So that way, you know, people can see, it's like, oh, whoa, this person will, you know, maybe help me out when I need it. You know, so I'm definitely gonna, you know, toss their name around, you know, just for, you know, for free marketing. Just a little networking 101 for everybody real quick on this Easter Sunday. Oh my god, I forgot, it's Easter Sunday, because I said that in the other part that didn't record any audio.
There were a lot of things that were said in the other part.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember again, but happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, it's Easter Sunday. So hopefully everybody's you know, out barbecuing or spending time with their family. Even if, you know, you don't celebrate Easter, hopefully, you know, you're just out doing something with, you know, with friends and family. Either way. So
yeah,
that's actually what we're in the process of doing right now. Is we video recorded and photographed a friend's child's baptism. So that was in the East Bay. So now we're just heading back home to San Francisco to go eat, because we are very hungry.
You know what I just realized?
What happened?
Since it wasn't actually recording the last time, your little slip up wasn't recorded.
What slip
when
up?
You were trying to say bridge and you said a different word.
What slip up? I don't know what slip up you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You got video of it? Well, there's video, there's just no audio.
Yeah.
So just didn't see a slow
It is
motion.
in slow-mo, so they can actually read your lips.
Yes. Oh, Becky G. LBD with Becky G.
What? Oh.
Man, Becky G really like redefined herself, because I only knew her for like singing songs in English.
I haven't heard Becky G since like that singing in the shower song.
Oh, she's big in Latin America.
Oh.
Because she actually sings in Spanish. She sings good too.
No.
Because when I went to Hawaii, one of my friends, she was like, "Oh, put on this Becky G song," because she actually likes like Spanish music herself.
Oh.
Because she likes to dance. So I was like, Becky G. I was like, she's like, yeah. I was like, wait. I was like, yeah. I was the only thing that came to mind was that shower song. So then we were literally just going on like a Becky G YouTube like marathon, just like listening to all her songs and everything like in Spanish, and I was like, damn, like, she's actually pretty good. So there's that. Shout out to Becky G. Oh man, here's the billboard. The billboards of billboards.
Oh my god, it's coming out in 6 days?
Yes, it's coming out on
No, wait,
Saturday.
5 days.
No, it's coming out, yeah. No, it's not coming out Saturday. I'm gonna go watch it on Saturday.
Today's the 21st.
Oh man, Avengers Endgame. Oh, you dirty, dirty movie.
I still haven't even seen Captain Marvel.
You ever seen? Oh, I don't. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think you don't. I don't feel like you have to watch Captain Marvel to like watch anything else after that. I mean, to watch Endgame, because I mean, even for them, it was just kind of like, all right, well, we're just gonna do a story for Captain Marvel just to show why she's all of a sudden showing up. But I'm just really curious though, like, because the Russo brothers, in terms of the ad, I mean, we already had a conversation about this, but in terms of like their promo videos, like, again, they're still not showing anything. They're showing the same thing. All they're talking about is like all in. I think that's a quote that they're saying. Just, oh, whatever it takes. That's the saying right now. Whatever it takes.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you think about that quote? Whatever it takes.
Depends on the situation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so what's your opinion of it? Let's just start broad, and then we can kind of go from there.
Depends on the situation. That's very broad.
Oh, that's why there's all the traffic. There's an accident.
I think that's as broad as it gets.
It's super
It depends
broad.
on the situation.
I mean, some people might think it's self-explanatory, but it's 420 somewhere.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the first time I seen that one. Just in time for
At ease.
yesterday being 420. Yeah, it's a cannabis delivery company.
What the hell? Well, that's funny that that's there because there was also the what is it? The billboard? Not the billboard. The shoot. You know how we were on the freeway going towards like downtown and there's that
Like mural?
what?
Like a mural?
No, it's like actually like it's like a digital board. It says like Treasure Island, 15 minutes or
Oh, you're talking about the LED board, the signboard, yeah.
those, yeah.
Yeah, the LED signboards.
Well, the one back there said drive high, get a DUI. And then there's a 420 billboard not that far away from it.
Because there are a lot of dummies that don't realize that like a DUI isn't like really like drinking under the influence. It's driving under the influence.
Yeah.
Influence
is not just limited to alcohol. It is
Yeah.
also
to drugs.
okay, Porsche. Yeah.
Drugs and smoking weed. Because I think
And
I
also-
don't feel like putting drugs and weed in the same category is the same thing. And I'm sure there'll be a whole debate about that. But I mean, the weed is literally something that you can just grow and then just light up and smoke. Versus drugs, like those are things that are actually made like in a lab, like they're chemically created. Even though there is some science though still behind weed, because after watching Narcos, I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah, because like there's different strains and like people, you know, make all these hybrid things and like whatever. I don't smoke weed, so I don't know how that like exactly works.
Yeah, there's some people that supposedly there's like something. I mean, you've watched enough movies to where you kind of get the gist.
Well, yeah.
Because I don't smoke weed either, but it's like, I mean, I've definitely had a lot of friends in college that smoked weed. Shout out to the one that was up in Humboldt, because he definitely dropped a lot of knowledge.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But no, there's like, because you can actually like infuse like the weed too, so that way when you like smoke it, like tastes or like smells like a certain way also.
Yeah, and
I mean,
it's
it's way more complicated.
It also hits different parts of your brain compared to other drugs like cocaine or like what else is there?
Cocaine, heroin, Molly.
Yeah, all that stuff. See, that's how you know I'm not into drugs.
Crystal meth.
I don't even remember. My mind just went shoo.
Some booger sugars.
What?
Only reason why I know a little bit more about drugs too is because I was actually a resident assistant in college, so there was a lot of things that we had to look for when we were patrolling the dorms. We actually had a police officer come in and like show us all the different types of like canisters that people use to like hide stuff.
Nice.
Hide contraband.
That's cool.
As well as kind of like just like certain things just to kind of look for.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff.
But yeah, like marijuana, weed, whatever you want to call it.
Marijuana.
Mary Jane, you know, it hits a different part of your brain than other drugs, like I was saying, and so.
Oh, did you guys actually study that like in class or?
Well, my biological psychology class, we looked at drugs a little bit.
Oh.
And like weed basically can't kill you unless you like consume like, I don't even want to try to guess how much, but it has to be like a very big amount for it to make maybe
like a huge bag.
I just said I don't know, but it has to be like a significant amount for it to, I think, maybe kill you. But basically, weed is safer of the drugs because it can't actually like kill you. It doesn't hit that part of your brain, but other drugs, like, they do bind to the receptors on like the part of your brain that keeps you alive.
So is that why people like actually get super hooked then? Because I've heard of people saying like sometimes they say like they feel like they're gonna die without it.
Yeah, well, that just has to do with like withdrawal and like the receptors that they're binding to, because like it depends on the hormones too.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure it's way more scientific.
It depends on the hormones that like that drug is like mimicking.
So I mean, because obviously there's some drugs that are kind of like uppers.
Ooh, that was a rough little tweak.
So I wasn't sure if that dude was stopping because somebody was coming up, but then this freaking Honda over here almost just went through the stop sign.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that, you know, like receptors or the binding sites and the drugs, like being synthetic versions of those and like destroying the receptor sites. So, you know, if you have less receptors, you're not going to be as like stimulated, or like your body doesn't react to the natural hormones that are supposed to be received by those receptor sites. And so that's like, I think that's part of like how you get addicted, because you know you want it and the little makes you feel good. It hits different parts of your brain.
So like, does it actually affect like your dopamine, which is why sometimes people are like, oh my god, like it feels really like it feels good or something, or because there's obviously ecstasy too, which
ecstasy's bad. I think that's probably one of the worst ones that you can take.
Yeah, well, there's like,
if not the worst. Actually, no. I think my this camera on the tripod. Yeah, I think ecstasy was actually like the worst one.
Yeah, I think that's still the worst.
If I remember correctly. Oh, hold on tight.
I don't know. We don't go like this way. Hold on. So it's like, well, when we vlog.
I'm the other way. Oh, my wrist.
That's what that crack was?
Oh, yeah, I just cracked it again. Okay.
I actually went slow too.
I know. This thing's heavy, man.
You know what's crazy? It's not even, that whole setup I don't even think is like 5 pounds. It's just that because it's all like super compact together.
It has to be.
We can weigh it when we get home right now.
Yeah, it has to be.
I'm telling you, because it's not as heavy as you think it is.
There's no way it's like 3 pounds.
Well, I'm not saying it's 3 pounds. I mean, it might be just under 5 pounds.
Well, that's 5 pounds.
Maybe by like a half or a quarter of a pound.
We'll find out.
Because I think the camera itself is like 1.5. I'm guessing like the battery that I attached to it too might be like maybe half a pound. It may be that. And then like the lens I know is heavy, so I think that one's probably like another like 1.5 pounds or 1.75 pounds or something like that. So
there you go. It adds up.
It does, but it's crazy, right?
It's still 5 pounds in my mind, whether it is or not.
Well, kind of wish we had a little bit more footage, but again, slow motion settings.
Yeah, we had more footage, but
yeah, so.
Wait, did he actually come? I thought he wasn't going to.
Oh, Alex?
Yeah.
Alright, well, again, everybody, happy Easter.
Yes.
Have fun, eat lots of good food, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya! Boom!
I didn't even get to say to look for the Easter bunny.